With the 2024 NFL Draft coming to an end, I thought it'd be the perfect time to rank the top 32 quarterbacks in the league. Now, this does not mean I'm ranking every starter in the league. I'm ranking the quarterbacks that I believe are starting caliber with quotation marks. Starting in at 32, and one of the biggest fallers from last year's ranking is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, despite getting hurt, played awful last year. I don't care about the injuries. I don't care about the O-line play. He did not look good. I think he threw 2 touchdowns in like 5 games and threw 6 interceptions. I think that made Daniel Jones so like decent in his playoff one year. He took care of the ball better than he ever did. And he went right back to reverting to fumbling, making dumb reads. Overall, if I were the Giants, I would have been mad if my team didn't take a quarterback this year. Maybe he'll do better if Neighbors, but I don't believe it. I think the Daniel Jones era in New York is just a ticking time bomb away. And don't be surprised if he gets pulled out of a game this year. Moving in at 31, we got rookie Jayden Daniels. Now, I have my issue with Jayden Daniels. He gives me too much Justin Fields vibe, which you're going to see in a bit on this list. He can't throw over the middle. He panics and runs too much. But he does something that Fields just didn't do. He takes some awful hits. And the best way to describe his hits is he's Jameis Winston of running the football. He will run into any contact. He takes some of the biggest hits imaginable, which the injury problems scare me. He's 2-1 read dependent. Overall, I think the Commanders made the wrong choice here. You'll see where I have May later on. At 30, we have Sam Howell. I was very conflicted on where to put Sam Howell because in the first half of the year, he was honestly a really good quarterback, and I thought he was going to be the guy the Commanders rolled with for at least a couple of years. And the fall from grace, I couldn't rank this man. It was very hard to. So I settled for 29, which seemed like a very fair spot for Howell. I don't really know what that means by fair. Overall, he really wasn't put in a good position. The receiving core is below average. The O-line was awful, but I'm not going to excuse him. He threw a lot of bad picks. He was the definition of a gunslinger. I think he can be good. I'm a Sam Howell truther. I think Sam Howell can be good. But as of now, I'm going to have him at 30 because he's just that second half of the year, man. If he got hurt and didn't play, we're looking at a top 20 quarterback on this list probably. But that second half of the year, it hurt to watch at times. At 29, we have Gardner Minshew. What he did last year was really impressive considering he stepped in, wasn't supposed to start at all, stepped in for Richardson, and proceeded to almost lead the Colts to the playoffs. And maybe I'll be viewing him differently if he was the one playing a home playoff game. I don't know, though. He just seemed like he was very game manager-y. The Colts relied on strong defense, Michael Pittman making insane plays, and a very strong run game with Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor. I think Minshew's a fine quarterback. I think he's currently the best quarterback the Raiders have on their roster and a significant upgrade over Aiden O'Connell, who is not on this list. So, yeah, it's whatever, though. At 28, Field Troopers look away because that's who I have. Steelers fans, Bears fans who still think Fields could have been the future, look away. Justin Fields is my 20th ranked quarterback. I have so many problems with him. I've made a whole video about why the Bears should have drafted Caleb Williams, and they made the correct choice. I made that before the draft, obviously. So I'm not really going to elaborate too much. He stares down receivers, can't throw over the middle, panics and runs too much, takes too many sacks. Things you don't want to see in a quarterback. He might break off a cool run occasionally, but the Bears made the correct choice going Caleb Williams, who is on this list. You will see him later on. At number 27, we have Will Levis. I actually don't hate Will Levis. He was in a bad system. He had his sparks, but he was really inconsistent. He had really good games, including against the Dolphins and the Falcons. He has shown that he has potential, but in a consistent week-to-week basis, we didn't see much reps out of him. I just want to see more out of him. That's all. I'm not going to slander him too hard. He's going to stay at 27, which isn't horrible. At 26, I have Drake May. I really like Drake May coming out of the draft. I think he is a phenomenal prospect. He was QB1 in most drafts, in my opinion, outside of this and last year's draft. I think, and maybe the Burrow, yeah, definitely the Burrow draft. Other than that, though, he would have been QB1 in a lot of drafts. Too bad Caleb exists. I know he had a bit of a down year at USC last year, but he lost a lot. He lost a lot of his offensive line, lost his best weapon, cut the man some slack. He has all the tools to be a great quarterback. He's tall, he's athletic, he's got a strong arm. Everything scouts drool over and love. And the Patriots got to steal at him because the difference between him and Jayden Daniels is going to be massive, and I think I'm going to see it. Jayden Daniels' hate train continues. At 25, I have Bryce Young. Bryce Young was put in a horrible situation, thrown to the ropes, and say, hey, figure it out. The offensive line for the Panthers sucked, which was a big shock. I was a huge fan of the Panthers' offensive line, but guys like Ike Ekwonu regressed. We're not talking about them. We're talking about Bryce Young here. Bryce Young definitely wasn't a perfect quarterback. He made dumb reads. He panicked too much, but his offensive line did suck. And his receivers did not create separation enough. But I have seen flashes of what I think Bryce Young can be. I think he's a creator out of structure, but the size is starting to get worrying to me. And if he doesn't show significant improvement, if this improved receiving core, improved O-line, improved everything, I think we might have to write off the Bryce Young experiment early. At number 24, we have Deshaun Watson. This might seem low to some people because there's still Deshaun Watson troopers out here. This man was bottom 10 in every major statistical category. Advanced stats, normal stats. I know he was hurt, so that's why I said advanced stats. He was not great, but he did show flashes. Injury to Deshaun Watson, just a different breed for some reason. In the Ravens game, he was injured, came back. In the Titans game, he was injured, won that game, played his best game I've ever seen him with a Brown. He still has that creation ability, still able to break tackles, still able to extend plays, but he's panicky, hold on to the ball for too long, hesitant, everything I hate about a quarterback. If you notice, a lot of these lower-ranked quarterbacks hold on to the ball for too long, and that's going to be the case for the next one. At 23, we have Derek Carr, the absolutely horrible signing the Saints have made. He has the issues of any bad quarterback in the league. Horrible footwork, some of the worst footwork you'll ever see out of a veteran quarterback. I don't know how he's been in the league for 10 years and hasn't fixed that. Holds onto the ball for too long, so the red zone play is abysmal. Derek Carr in the red zone might be not on this list. He's such a niche player, but Derek Carr in the red zone is one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever watched. And overall, he was not what the Saints offense wanted. He did not elevate this offense as any way Andy Dalton did. He was painfully below average, but he stat padded a lot against bad teams, and his stats don't look that bad, but you watch Derek Carr play on a week-to-week basis, it was not pretty. At 22, we have Russell Wilson, and before Steelers fans start calling for my head, that's still a significant upgrade over Mason Rudolph. And it'll probably take you all to the playoffs, but you guys need a real quarterback. Russ has the problems I hate in every quarterback. Holds onto the ball for too long. Can't see over the offensive line. Refuses to take checkdowns because he literally cannot see his checkdowns. It is an annoying thing. It's just pain to watch him. It's an upgrade from last year, definitely. His first year in Denver was disastrous. Sean Payton did definitely turn things around for him, but there's a reason they moved on from him. Even despite them having a quarterback that I view as worse currently, I think the Steelers should still start looking at quarterback options, though. 21, we have first overall pick, Caleb Williams. I didn't know how high to put him because I'm very high on Caleb Williams, and if you tell me I'm going to have him in the top 5 by the end of his rookie year, I would fully believe you. But I didn't want to put him too high, so I am putting him below every guy that I feel like is proven in this league and is a good quarterback. There you go. He's better than all the below average quarterbacks, though. Caleb Williams is a creator. He is a phenomenal prospect. He is probably generational. He's one of my favorite prospects ever to watch. I defend this guy to the moon and back. I hope he is good. I hope he is good. I hope he is good and proves the haters wrong. He's not a locker room cancer. Don't care he paints his nails. He's a really good quarterback stepping into a really scary Bears team. At 20, we have Geno Smith, who definitely fell from last year in my quarterback rankings after having a Linsanity run. He was still a good quarterback this year, and he is still one of the most fairly paid quarterbacks in the league. He's one of the only quarterbacks to make, I think he is the only quarterback to make $30 million. But we're talking about the skill on the field. He kind of has that Derek Carr problem. He is awful in the red zone. He holds onto the ball for too long. In the red zone only, though. It's bizarre. And he's a good quarterback, but I could see why the Seahawks tried trading up for a guy like Penix in the first round. Titans should have traded back, but that's whatever. Yeah, he's an alright quarterback. He's not going to bring you anywhere far. He might win you a playoff game, but it's whatever. 19, we have Baker Mayfield. What a resurgence for Baker Mayfield. I can't believe he won a playoff game. He really did turn his career around. He got that huge extension. The thing that scares me the most about Baker currently is how much is it just he was on a contract year, and he does this. He has these one-year stints where he wins a playoff game, plays really well. It does scare me a bit, but I'm not about to take away fully from his incredible season he had last year. Made the Pro Bowl for the first time in his career, which I know doesn't mean much, but still a nice achievement to have. And the playoff win is really nice, and he was a big factor in it. He played great in that playoff game, played pretty solid in Detroit when they lost still, but was not the main reason. At 18, we have Anthony Richardson. This might be high for a guy that only played 4 games, but remember, I have Caleb Williams at 21. I watched Anthony Richardson play, and he played great. I think the Colts are a sleeper team next year, and I think Anthony Richardson could be poised for a huge comeback player of the year campaign. His dynamic ability running and passing the ball is something that I haven't seen since Cam Newton. I just hope he could stay healthy. So I think he could have been top 10 on this list if he could just stay healthy. At number 17, we have Brock Purdy. And this one, a lot of people aren't going to like. A lot of people view Purdy very highly, but I don't understand it. Purdy is a good quarterback who did some great things considering his draft position, but can we stop looking at him at pick number 256 and start evaluating him as a real quarterback? He's a system quarterback. He relies on a very good team around him. He's a good quarterback, but he's not elevating your team. He is just there. He's your point guard of your team. He will distribute the ball out, but he's going to let the other players make plays on your team. There's nothing wrong with that. You guys went to the Super Bowl with that. All right? Let's get that out of the way. I think Purdy's a good quarterback, not great. That's all. Number 16, we have Tua Tagovailoa. Tua is a very polarizing quarterback for the NFL fans. Some people think he's top 10, others don't even think he's top 20. I will put him right in the middle, and I'll put him at a nice little 16. He's a good quarterback. He led the league in passing yards, was top 3 in QBR, but I'd like to see him step up in big games. I'm a Dolphins fan, I'd love to see him step up in big games. And he just, sometimes the weak arm shows. He lacks some playmaker ability, but he has some great things. He gets rid of the ball quickly. He's overall a very accurate quarterback. We know this. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. So yeah, I think 16 is a good spot for him until he proves otherwise why we should elevate him high. And number 15, the guy I think is the most underrated quarterback, underappreciated quarterback in the league, it's Kyler Murray. People want to get their COD jokes out, their short jokes out, it's whatever. He is a very good quarterback. He is a playmaker. He will extend plays. The problem is he hasn't had a good team around him. Whether it's been bad coaching or an overall just a horrendous roster around him, he just hasn't ever been able to be given that great roster that he has needed. So that's why I have him at 15. He's kind of, you want to see more out of him. You feel like he has the potential. We've seen him play some phenomenal games. We've seen him play MVP caliber football for half a year. We just want to see more out of him. And I feel like he's got the potential to unlock it. So I'm going to put him at 15. I think that's a good spot for him. Coming in at number 14 is Trevor Lawrence. I thought this would really be the breakout year for Lawrence. I was so high on Trevor Lawrence. You know, the addition of Calvin Ridley, another year of development with Christian Kirk, year 3. He was going to have MVP caliber numbers. He did not. Even when the Jags were winning games, he wasn't the reason why. He is so, he's frustrating because you know he's got the talent, he's got the quarterback build, he has everything to be such a good quarterback. There's a reason this guy was touted as the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. Because he is so unbelievably talented, but he has bad decision making. He fumbles way too much for my liking. But I've seen him make some really impressive throws. I'm going to put him at 14, but I just want to see more out of him. It's really frustrating. At number 13 is Jared Goff. Congrats. You took the Lions to not just one, but 2 playoff wins. That is impressive alone. You are a Lions legend for that. You broke a major drought that they had. 30 years of not winning playoff games, 30 years of not winning their division. You know the last time they won the division, the Bucks were in their division. So I want to give huge praise to Jared Goff for that. I think Jared Goff is a good quarterback. There's some system to him. Okay, let's be honest. One of the best offensive lines in the league, one of the best offensive minds in the league in Ben Johnson, a top 5 receiver in the league, one of the best run games in the league. There's a lot going there, but he's very good at executing his system. I'll give him that. His under-the-center play-action shots. I mean, Jared Goff, watching some Jared Goff film can be fun to watch. He really does know how to just, maneuver in the pocket. He knows how to just deliver. He knows what to do. He plays the game correctly. I feel like I'm just yapping at this point. I'm going to stop. Jared Goff, you're number 13. At 12, we have Kirk Cousins. I can't believe the Falcons drafted a quarterback. I'm going to be so honest. Kirk Cousins, I understand he's coming off an Achilles tear. He was putting up actual MVP caliber numbers before getting that Achilles tear. I feel like he's been underappreciated for the past couple of years. Biggest gripe on him is he doesn't win big games, which is kind of true. He doesn't have a very good playoff record. But he was playing so good last year that I cannot help but put him in the top 12. This is a very good spot for Kirk Cousins. He is a good quarterback. He's not going to fully elevate your team, but if you have Kirk Cousins, you're never really complaining about having Kirk Cousins. That's my opinion on Kirk. At number 11, we have Jalen Hurts. I don't know where to rank Hurts. He was a very weird quarterback to rank for me. He is a very dynamic runner. He is very good at running QB sneaks, but how much of that's Eagles system? And he has really shown flashes. I mean, he was an MVP candidate just 2 years ago. But I feel like he does have some cons. Weak arm, very weak arm at times. You watch a lot of those interception he throws, they are lollipops. If you didn't know, a lollipop is just a really weak throw, and it just kind of floats in the air for a while. That's what a lollipop is. And he's just weird. I think it's the best way to describe Jalen Hurts. I think he's a good quarterback, but I feel like his 1 year was a fluke. That's why I'm putting him at 11, just outside the top 10. Good quarterback, though. At number 10, we have Dakota Prescott, or Dak Prescott. People want to make fun of him for choking in the playoffs all the time. People also don't want to talk about, I understand he didn't play a great game against the Packers, I'm going to be honest. His defense allowed 40 points. Any other quarterback, this is unacceptable here. Because it's Dak, he gets all the blame for it. His defense was awful. Could not stop the run. Let Jordan Love absolutely torch them. All right, now off my Dak side tangent. Dak was an MVP candidate last year. Second best quarterback in the league last year. Fight me about it. The only one who played better, third, my bad. The only two who played better were Lamar and Josh Allen. That's it. Last year in the regular season, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And people overestimate how good that receiving core is. CeeDee Lamb, phenomenal. Elite receiver. Top 3. Brandon Cooks is not that good. Michael Gallup was basically a statue last year, and he had no run game, and the offensive line was always hurt. Dak needs more love in this world, and I'm going to stand on that. Dak, you're number 10. Please win a playoff game. Number 9 was another very hard guy to rank. It was Aaron Rodgers. The reason why he was so hard to rank is because I don't know how good he's going to be. We have another year under his belt of just nothing. He got hurt in like 2 plays. It's really hard to say where Rodgers stands on these rankings because you haven't seen him play in a while. But I do want to take into account his last year at Green Bay was still a top 10 quarterback season. Like, I would consider that top 10 caliber. I like Garrett Wilson. I like Mike Williams. I feel like he's going to come back and be a very good quarterback for the Jets. Best they've had in forever. So, yeah. I'm not going to talk too much about him because I'm very iffy about this spot for him. But I'm going to put him at 9 with the idea that he's going to come back and be very good. I'm going to want a victory out about this next guy a little bit. Number 8 is Jordan Love. I called this. I didn't think he was going to be top 10. I see he was the next Packers franchise quarterback, though. I love Jordan Love so much. He was such a fun player to watch. I know he had very little snaps, but you watch that Eagles game and that Chiefs game, he was making reads. He knew what he was doing. And despite that Chiefs game being his first game, stats lie. Stats lie so much. You watch Jordan Love, Chiefs defense, they had a plan. Jordan Love just wasn't getting helped out. And overall, for his first game, he was showing very good things. Comes in the Eagles game, plays great. Now we see him in a full season, leads Packers to the playoffs, wins them a playoff game, playing a near flawless game. Yes. Here's your next franchise quarterback. Sorry, Bears fans. Sorry, Lions fans. Sorry, Vikings fans. Packers keep having franchise quarterbacks. It's all right, because they will continue to do it, but you all have gotten really good, so you guys can compete with them. But congrats to Jordan Love for absolutely lighting it up last year. I am so happy that he made my point very, very clear. At number 7, we have Matt Stafford. The only thing that holding Matt Stafford back is that age. But I see this man, we're talking next year, this man is making Mahomes-level throws. He's one of the most talented throwers of the football we currently have in this league. Biggest problem, can't really move outside the pocket. But oh my goodness, throws he makes. The sidearms, the bullets, the deep ball. He is a near flawless quarterback when it comes to just straight up throwing the football. He has some of the most gorgeous throws. There's a reason Calvin Johnson had a record-breaking year. Cooper Kupp had a record-breaking year. Puka Nacua had a record-breaking year. What do they all have in common? Matt Stafford was their quarterback. Matt Stafford just knows how to get the ball in his playmaker's hands. He knows how to utilize them. I am very impressed by this Matt Stafford turnaround because I think I had him in like the 20s last year. I underestimated him. When you give him just a little bit of help, he'll make it work. Congrats on leading what I thought was going to be a horrible Rams team to the playoffs. Stafford, I'm very happy of how you played last year. Good job. You're number 7 on the list. At number 6 is rookie sensation CJ Stroud. I should explain to you. I mean, some people are going to be, oh, he's young. He could be a one-year wonder. No, he's not. You watch this man play. He's got one of the best deep balls in the league. He's accurate, has great decision-making. He only threw 5 picks. And for a rookie, that's insane. Remember what we thought of this Texans team before the season started? We were like, Stroud has no receivers. Stroud doesn't have help. Stroud this, Stroud that, Stroud that. What's our opinion on them now? Super Bowl contenders? Most people would say yes. Guess what? CJ Stroud's a big part of that. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and I think he's only going to climb this list. I think he has potential to be number 2 and number 1 when Mahomes retires. Stroud is just that talented. He is that highly touted of a quarterback. I see why people have him at QB1. I had Bryce's QB1 last year before the draft. I see why Stroud's QB1. He is such a talented thrower of the football. He's so calm under pressure. He's able to extend plays. And he didn't make Nico Collins, but he unlocked Nico Collins. And I will give him a lot of credit for that. I will give him so much credit for what the Texans did this year. Good job, CJ Stroud. What a year. I hope you keep growing and improving. At number 5 is Justin Herbert. And I think people are going to find this really, really high. But I don't think people realize also how good Justin Herbert is. He's got one of the best arms I have seen. He is like Stafford, such a talented thrower of the football. Problem is, his supporting cast is the most vastly over his supporting cast. Let's first talk about this. This Justin Herbert has stepped into the league. His defense is the worst defense ever in points allowed. Ever since he stepped in the league. Over that long of a span, It is the worst. Second of all, his receivers are old, slow, and injury prone. And I know Keenan Allen's coming off a career year. Keenan Allen still missed time, and Herbert had to miss time with Keenan. Herbert had to miss time because of his broken hand. Mike Williams is always hurt. Austin Eckler was literally always overrated. Fantasy football merchant. You need to watch Justin Herbert to realize how good he is. He is not his team around him. Put him on any other team. Give him an average supporting cast. You have a Super Bowl contender right there. But the Chargers do not help this man at all. They are a horribly ran team, and they are showing how not to build around a elite quarterback. Maybe Jim Harbaugh fixes that, and I hope he does, because Herbert's talent is being wasted. At number 4, we have Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, he's the only quarterback currently in the league to beat Mahomes in the playoffs. That could obviously be subject to change a year from now, but that's what I'm saying. But Burrow, are the injuries starting to get concerning? Yes, he has now suffered not one but 2 season-ending injuries on 2 different parts of him. And he has other nagging injuries that he just had to deal with, and it's getting concerning. Combine that with the fact that he has a very elite supporting cast. I get it. He is doing a lot of the work, but how much of his supporting cast? I'm done criticizing Burrow. Let's praise him. Most accurate quarterback in the league. Maybe. He might be the most accurate quarterback in the league. He's a phenomenal decision maker. He's a great leader. He is everything you want out of a quarterback. If you have Joe Burrow, you're happy. Quite simply put it. There's a reason he is Mr. Moneybags, one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, because he can continuously win you games. He has turned this Bengals franchise around, and I can't wait to see him back healthy. At number 3, we have our reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson. This might seem low because, he's the reigning MVP on a weaker MVP season. Not taking it away from him, though, but it was a weaker MVP season. But we're not going to act like Lamar isn't one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. You can't match his running ability. He's the greatest running quarterback of all time. It's not Michael Vick. It's not anyone else. It is Lamar Jackson. And only as time progresses, he's become a better passer. He is now used running as a tool, not his main purpose, which has made him so much scarier because he's a phenomenal passer as well. Still one of the best passers in the league and can still make some of the most insane throws you ever see. There's a reason this man was MVP. He's the most valuable player on the best team in the league last year. And overall, I really like Lamar, but there are 2 guys I'm taking over him. And number 2, people are not going to like this, Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen gets a lot of ridicule for his interceptions. He's very Brett Favre-ian. I think it's the best way to describe him. He makes some bad reads. He's some of the worst interceptions you will ever see. And I'll give that to him. But he's one of the best running quarterbacks in the league. He is so strong. He is physical. His arm talent is through the roof. He can throw a ball 100 yards down the field, and I fully believe that. Josh Allen has continuously put this Bills team on his back and carried them. I think people overestimate how good his supporting cast has been. Diggs was basically inexistent for the second half of last year. The defense wasn't that great, and his OC is atrocious. I cannot stand Joe Brady. He's one of the worst OCs in the league, and I stand on that Bills fan. Josh Allen will continue to do it because he's both a dual threat on the ground, and he's one of the best throwers of the ball. The only problem is playoff success. He has a lot of playoff wins, but he hasn't been able to get over that hump. Mahomes has always beaten him. And I think we all know who number 1 is. Let's be real here. But Josh Allen, you are a very good quarterback. Number 2, and you've absolutely owned my favorite team for years now. I'm sick of it. Can you please let us win the division once? And finally, which should come to a surprise to literally no one, number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a now 3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time MVP, and I'm not naming stats off that happened years ago. I'm naming things that have happened in the last 2 years. Multiple-time MVP, best quarterback in the league. When playoff time comes around, you're not beating him. 2 quarterbacks have beaten him in the playoffs. That one of them is the GOAT himself, Tom Brady, and the other one is Joe Burrow. That is how good this man is. He does not lose. He does not play road playoff games. And he proved it this year when he has to go on the road in playoff games. He's still going to win. Regardless of how bad the Chiefs are in the regular season, you're not a team you want to see in the playoffs. You put the Chiefs in the playoffs. It's win or go home. They will lock in. Mahomes will play the game of his life. It does not matter. Mahomes will always play what he needs to do to win. If he needs to only put up 20 points to win, he'll put up 20 points to win. If he needs to put up 50, he's going to do it. I shouldn't have to justify why Mahomes is the best quarterback on the list, but there are some delusional fans who do not think Mahomes is an all-time great, who do not think Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. It is ridiculous. You watch this man play, and you continuously say, it's never over with this man out. Put him down 28, it's never over. Put him with a 30 seconds to go down the field, score a touchdown, no timeouts, it's not over. Quite simply, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. And that is all for the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Please don't be too harsh if I put your quarterback down too low or put a quarterback you hate too high. I understand people get really passionate about their quarterbacks, and they always think your quarterback is better than the public view of them. So yeah, that's gonna be all. Make sure to like, subscribe, and the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.